I've probably said no to at least 100,000 dirhams. If you're talking to dusty, crusty, useless men, please listen to me. 2024 was the year of many big changes for me. I took big risks. I kind of learned my value as a creator and as just an employee, and I'm so proud and excited to say that this was one of the best years of my life, professionally as well as for my own mental health. And I'm so pumped for next year. I literally can't even explain. I feel like next year is going to be really big for me. I genuinely believe that from the bottom of my heart. I already have very exciting conversations going on. But obviously, it's time to reflect, because what's the point of going into the next year without really taking a step back and spending some time to understand what worked and what didn't work? Today, I want to sit and chat with you guys and share some of these lessons that I've learned this year, and you can reflect with me. So the very first lesson that I learned this year is that you don't have to always struggle. And I feel like so many of us can relate to this. I'm 100% sure, because every time I've spoken about this, I've got so many messages from you guys thinking the same way. So basically, last September is when I started monetizing my content on social media. So I started making a lot of money very quickly, which I wasn't used to. And because it takes like 30 to 60 days for you to get paid from your brand deals, all of that money kind of started falling into my account in like Jan and Feb of this year. And I was not used to it, because until then I used to work for a salaried amount, and for that I used to hustle. Oh my god, I have worked so hard at my previous job. I hope no one can deny that, but I know I used to give it my all. So suddenly to have this kind of income, which was literally beyond my wildest dreams, really tested my own concept of like my self-worth and money. So as I was saying, when this money started falling into my account, I remember feeling very uncomfortable. I felt like it was too easy, that something is wrong and that I don't deserve this, and it made me so uncomfortable. I could not enjoy the money that was coming into my account, but I also knew that it was a really bad mindset to have, because if you think you're unworthy, you stop attracting similar things. Or worst of it all, if you think you're unworthy, whatever blessings you get, you'll never truly be able to be grateful for it. That's what I do not want to be, which is ungrateful in my life, and I feel like this mindset was holding me back. I started kind of telling myself a lot of affirmations to help with this, which is I am worthy of success. I've worked hard for this. This was not luck. This was not fluke. I have put in the work, and at the end of the day, it was my decision to upload my first video and to keep going despite the hate that I got. So I deserve this income that I'm suddenly making in my life. So that was the first thing that I did. The next thing that I did was also I genuinely created a whole new bank account in order to keep that money or to store that money, and I stopped using that as a checking account. So I opened up like a saving account and I just moved it there so that I'm not constantly seeing it and like stressing. I don't know, it just stresses you out when things happen very well too quickly. So I literally had to open a bank account in order to kind of take that money mindset away. Now, if you kind of blow up when you are super young and then money just comes to you, I feel like you'll start thinking that this is life, like life just happens to be this easy. But because I really put in the work in order to grow at my job, I feel like it was a little bit harder for me to accept that things are going good and I deserve it. But what I'm learning from that experience is that there are so many people who make millions in a day and have no ounce of unworthiness in their mind. They have no imposter syndrome. They're taking that money, they're enjoying it. There are influencers who have probably, gone from 0 to 500k in a month or like 600k in a month and have no limiting beliefs. So why am I thinking so much? Why am I questioning my own beliefs? It's just best for me to take in that blessing, be super grateful, and live my best life. So at the end of the day, what do you get if you struggle? Like, you don't get an award saying this is the person that has struggled the most. Who is keeping account of these things? So that's lesson number one. The second lesson that I learned this year is that self-love is not conditional, and that's okay. So basically, I used to strongly believe that I loved myself no matter what, which is true. But then in March of this year, I gained a lot of weight quite quickly because of the stress that I had at work and just my lifestyle, just how much I was binge eating and stuff. And I put on maybe 6 to 8 kilos quite rapidly. And I didn't feel good in my body. I didn't like what I was seeing. But at the same time, I had a lot of conflicting emotions because in my head, I was thinking, oh, but if you love yourself, you would be okay with your weight gain. You would accept your body as it is. And that's what kind of kept me lazy as well. I thought I don't have to lose weight because I love myself. But then eventually reached a point where I had to join the gym. I was just not liking my body. Joined the gym, I shed the weight, and the kind of confidence that I gained after that was life-changing. Like right now, I love what I see in the mirror. I love the way that I look. I love how much better my day gets when I see myself and I feel confident. And then I realized that this concept of self-love is not accepting yourself no matter what, is not letting yourself slack just because you're feeling lazy today. Yes, of course, those things you have to do. You need to give yourself grace, but that does not mean that you allow yourself to not give yourself the best. I don't know if that makes sense. sense. But basically what I'm saying is that through that journey of losing the weight and becoming more confident, I realized that I was giving myself the best body, the best confidence, because we deserve that. And that is what self-love is. It is knowing that there is so much out there that we can work towards and putting in the work to get there, even if it means it's uncomfortable right now. So my mindset has genuinely completely changed, and just by joining the gym, I have now accepted that if I want something, I need to put in the work. I need to work hard for it. Even if I'm lazy, yes, I can have rest days, I can give myself that break, but I deserve the best job, the best career, the best finances, the best life, and for that, I will put in the work. And that is what self-love is. It does not always have to be unconditional. I will love myself through everything. I will love myself. Even if I'm a horrible person, I still love myself. Even if I speak very rude to the waiters, doesn't matter. I love myself. That is not self-love. That's the second lesson that I learned. The third lesson I learned is to do things even if you're not ready. This relates to me actually quitting my job. So even in like April and May of this year, I used to post videos talking about how I would never quit my job, and it's actually crazy that I did. But if you've been following me, you would have seen all of that content where I'm like, I'd never quit my job, I would never do this, I would never do that. But then this year I reached a point where I was just not in love with my job anymore, and I was not learning as much as I used to before. And learning is very important for me. It's actually the most important thing for me in my career. Am I learning? Am I gaining the experience? Am I upskilling myself? Am I growing mentally? And I wasn't, because I had been there for 4 years, and I feel like I just reached that point where I also wasn't dying to learn more in this industry. I kind of wanted to shift. So I was going through that phase, and just one day at work, I was a little bit stressed. Something like annoyed me. Immediately, I messaged my manager without thinking too much, and I told her, hey, can we have a chat? I need to tell you something. And then I went down and I spoke to her in a room, and I literally told her, I don't see myself here long term. Like, I feel like it's coming to an end soon. And she was like, oh, okay. And I also told her this is probably the longest notice that you're ever gonna get. I told her I think it's gonna be 4 to 5 months down the lane, but I need a change, and I just know this is not it for me anymore. So that was kind of like a long notice. And then about 2 or 3 months later, I did send in my resignation, and 2 months after that, I basically jumped to content creation full time. And the thing is, if I sat and discussed with my friend and I, made a list of pros and cons, and if I just thought a lot about, should I really quit my job? Should I stay? Should I do this? But this job gives me everything that I know, but this job is where I learned. So how can I just leave? If I sat and thought about all of that, I would have never quit. I know that for a fact, which is also why I didn't think too much, because I knew that if I spent time, I wouldn't do it. So when that feeling came up, I just did it. And in my mind, what I was telling myself is, once I do it, I will be ready. I can't keep waiting to be ready. Like, that doesn't exist. This concept of do it when you're ready. In some aspects, yes, but in other aspects, not really. So I took that plunge. And then the first 2 months were actually quite hard. It was a little bit challenging because I wasn't used to the time. I wasn't used to not having much to do. But now I'm so fulfilled in my professional life. I'm so happy that I get to do this full time. I'm so grateful, and I genuinely enjoy it. I'm just so glad that I did it when I wasn't ready. Don't get me wrong, don't just quit your job. Financially, I had done my calculations. I've always been doing my calculations, so I knew I could quit my job and still be okay in terms of money. So that wasn't spontaneous as such, but just in terms of how ready I was and my confidence when it comes to my personal social media, all of that came eventually, and I'm so happy and I'm just so grateful that I did it. The fourth lesson that I learned is that everyone moves on and that I'm still capable of like having feelings. And this actually happened when I developed a crush on someone this year. I know that sounds like a big deal, but I really don't. Like, I just do not like people that easily. I feel like I need a good friendship for me to like someone, but I had a crush on someone this year and it was so exciting. I acted unhinged. Like, I was literally insane. And instead of feeling embarrassed about it or feeling shame around the way that I was acting, by the way, it was all in my head. Like, me and him, he has no idea. Like, so much of was going on in my head, and I let myself be super unhinged because I knew that this was just a temporary crush and I wanted to allow myself to feel that emotion and then get over it. And it was so much fun, you guys. I was laughing. I would tell my friends about it. I would make a big deal out of it. I would act like a psychotic girlfriend. This guy has no idea again. And I would just obsess over him in order to give myself that experience of having a crush. I know that doesn't sound like a big deal to you guys, but for me, it was huge because I also started thinking that all the guys that I used to think about before and wonder if I'll ever truly get over them, will I ever feel, oh my god, that doesn't matter. So all the guys that I used to cry over like years ago, they've become so irrelevant to me now. And I learned that by having this crush, because when I had this crush, nobody mattered. I didn't give a about any other guy. I mean, I stopped caring about them anyway for the past couple of years, but this year it was just next level. Like, that obsession made me realize that every single person in your life is replaceable. Some people are just harder to replace, but most of them are. Like, you'll still feel the same emotions towards another person. And because I've also been kind of scared of letting someone into my life because I'm scared they'll ruin my peace, this kind of gave me that assurance that yes, maybe if I get into another relationship, I will probably get hurt, but so what? I will forget him in 2 years and I will have another crush and obsess over him the same way that I did this year. So this year, that's another lesson that I learned. You can get over anyone. Not that big of a deal. The next lesson that I've learned, which is related to finance, is the earlier you can detach yourself from money, the quicker it comes to you. This is the biggest lesson that I've learned when it comes to finances for myself. I'll give you a few examples. So in 2021, I told my parents that I wanted to do an unpaid internship. I told my friends and they were all a little bit like, are you sure you want to do an unpaid internship? Like, don't you want to be earning? Obviously, it came from a place of care, but I ignored everything and I said, yes, I want to do an unpaid internship because I know this will benefit me. So momentarily, for about 6 months, I literally did not get paid. And it was that internship that completely transformed the trajectory of my life. Then got a full-time job. That full-time job taught me everything that I needed about content creation. And 4 years later, I'm now a full-time creator. And I think about it all the time, which is, if I had attached myself to money 4 years ago, I would not be making that kind of money now. And it was that split-second decision of, oh, should I take up this offer, should I not? Which genuinely flipped my life upside down. Same thing when it comes to crypto. I remember I invested quite a big amount, for me at least at that time, into crypto. And I remember thinking myself, okay, just cut the attachment with it. If it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And putting that money aside at that time has helped me triple my income. Just that lack of attachment, such a great financial decision I made. And I'm also applying this detachment with money right now. So I'm at that stage now where I get a lot of brand inquiries or like partnership inquiries. If I didn't detach myself from money, I would be taking them all up and kind of losing my brand value and doing multiple partnerships across my page, just trying to somehow get every bit of money. But now that I'm detached from it, I say no to most of it. I don't care how much money it is. If this brand does not align with where I want to be or where I want my page to be, I just will not take it up. It is a business decision, but it's also a very emotional decision, right? Because money at the end has an emotional impact on you. If I'm being totally honest, if I have to count everything, I've probably said no to at least 100,000 dirhams. Easily, minimum, if I count up like how many no's I've said. And it's helping me a lot by defining my personal brand and my social media brand as well. If you get attached to every little expense, every little opportunity, every salary, and you don't take risks, you will not grow. The earlier you detach, the better it's going to be, the better risks you take, and the more money will come into your bank account. And the last lesson that I learned is actually about my singlehood. Last year around this time, I thought that by the end of 2024, I would probably be ready to meet someone and, settle down and all of that. But this year, I've pretty much learned that is a few years away. I've been enjoying my alone time way too much, more than I expected. It has given me everything that I need from my life. If you are lost, if you're confused, if you're talking to dusty, crusty, useless men, please listen to me. Work on yourself. Genuinely. Cut off that distraction, block them off, and work on yourself. It will bring you far more fulfillment in your life. The fulfillment that I have now has been so incredible that I think so much more before giving my time to a guy. And that's exactly how I want it to be, right? When a guy enters my life, I want him to compete with my singlehood. Are you going to make me happier than me sitting alone on a weekend eating pasta, binge watching some Netflix show? Are you going to bring me more peace than my solo life where I don't have to worry about a guy, where I don't have to worry about someone? Will you? Are you going to help me thrive and be more confident in my life when I'm with you, or are you going to drive more insecurities into my life? So these are the kind of questions that I have now when I speak to any guy or I think about marriage or love to begin with. So one of the last few lessons that I have learned this year is that I'm not ready to let go of my singlehood, and I won't be for a pretty long time. There is one more thing which I really want to add, and this is a lesson that I learned today. So I went back to my university a few hours ago because I had to judge like a fashion show that they were doing, and I knew that people would recognize me and stuff. But after the event was done, okay, not too long, but there was a small queue of people, young girls, waiting to take a picture with me, and also the other influencer who was with me. And they came to me and they were all so like giddy and so nervous to meet me, and they actually were so excited. And one of the girls literally came to me shivering and said, "You have no idea how much you inspire me. I sit and binge watch your YouTube videos." And my first thought was, my YouTube, no one even watches my YouTube. Like, I have 30,000 subscribers, it's not even that much. And on my drive back, I realized that a lot of the times we don't maybe understand or realize the impact that we have on other people's lives, and we don't realize the importance of our voice. When I started my account last year, I didn't even have a thought process, okay? I didn't think about my goals, none of it. I posted because it was fun. But once my video started doing well and people were watching is when I would get these influx of messages from young girls and also women telling me that they've probably broken up with their boyfriend that has been treating them really shitty, or that they have finally taken their first solo trip, or that they have been going out alone and going to restaurants alone and dining alone because watching my videos have inspired them. And it truly taught me one of the biggest lessons of this year, which is your voice is needed. What you say matters, and there's always going to be people who derive some kind of value from it. You might not see it now the same way that I didn't see it last year, but there will come a time when what you say is exactly what someone out there would want to listen to. So if you've been procrastinating, if you've been putting away something that you've genuinely wanted to do, thinking that no one cares, may this be the biggest lesson. Your voice needs to be heard. I'm just so happy and so grateful and so excited for life because hearing those amazing things from these younger girls gave me a kind of bigger purpose from my content, which is why I'm even sitting and like filming this video, because I actually feel a little bit more confident. And can you guys believe it? It's taken me 1.5 years to actually get this feeling. So 1.5 years of posting these videos and relentlessly working towards my channel or my Instagram or YouTube or whatever it is. And now is when I'm coming to terms with that impact, that influence, or the reach that I'm very lucky and very proud to have. I know end of the year or beginning of a year can bring a lot of anxiety for you guys, but let this video be a powerful reminder that there is so much that you can learn and apply to the next year. If you've been struggling with self-doubt and just not trusting your potential, make sure to watch this video that I posted last week. It is about silencing self-doubt in 2025. Honestly, that video did so much better than I expected. I literally wrote it down when I was in the library and I filmed it and posted it thinking no one's gonna watch it. And I've actually gained about 800 or 1,000 subscribers just from that video. Once again, proving that your voice matters. I didn't realize my voice mattered, and I'm kind of realizing it now, because if 800 people or 1,000 people watched that and thought this girl is worth listening to, that's a big bloody number. And if you haven't yet made your vision board for 2025, I've also got a killer video on this. I'm so proud of this video. It's probably got like 150 or 160,000 views. Insane. Make sure to watch that as well. It's going to change your life. I have an Instagram as well as a TikTok. Follow me there. My name is @TwinkleStanley, and also subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna see you guys next time. I've got some really fun content planned for 2025 as well as over the next few weeks. So stay tuned and come back for my next video. Bye.